Welcome to this video, everyone, and welcome to autumn 2024. We have 19 degrees, and I'm just managing with a short t-shirt. There's a bit of wind as well, and a lot of rain, so I have to be careful not to get completely soaked. But I was just out here in Sensburg and thought to myself, come on, I'll take the camera and everything that goes with it, and I want to address a topic that many will encounter again, especially in autumn, namely the topic of sealing. And here we must clearly state which sealant do you use and what would I recommend to you. And in autumn, it is a bit difficult because we have all the foliage that falls from the trees. We have significantly more dirt on the roads. This means that you can now decide whether you want to apply a slightly stronger protection to the vehicle, which ensures that we can actually drive the car for a longer period without constantly having to go to the self-service box. Because in autumn, when it rains, the rain is supposed to help keep the vehicle somewhat clean. And of course, a sealant helps with that. Are you more of a team simple and quick? So, we're talking about sealing shampoo, right? And that's what today's video is about, the topic of wet sealing. I brought a wet sealant with me, specifically here ADBL. Just a reminder, ADBL markets this as a rim sealant, but it is essentially a regular wet sealant and works great on vehicle paint as well, because rim paint and vehicle paint both have clear coat on top. That's why it's my tip, and that's why I brought it along, because I really like it. In my opinion, ADBL should definitely include the topic of paint as well, or I could just bring the same product again as a paint after sealing, I don't know. But my tip at this point, based on my user experience, is that it works wonderfully here on vehicles. And now in autumn, especially with such weather, rain, and everything that comes with it, not everyone has a hall or a large garage where they can properly seal their vehicle because the options simply aren't available. What options do we have here in a self-service box? And in such weather, with longer rainy days or even weeks, one still wants to apply a bit of protection to the vehicle. And for me, the simplest option here at the self-service box is either a sealing shampoo or a wet sealant. In weather conditions without sun and without scorching hot paint, a wet sealant is actually really good because the problems that arise in summer with hot paint surfaces and wind, which cause everything to dry super quickly, are simply not present in such weather. And that's why with such a wet sealant, you have the option to easily seal the vehicle. The vehicle must be wet, and it should definitely be clean. So, you wouldn't spray it on any mud splashes or anything like that, obviously. But we always have to consider that when it comes to sealing, there are really a wide range of options available for different users or for specific applications. And I can actually recommend a wet sealant to anyone who says, I want to take care of my vehicle, but I don't have huge options. However, I have a self-service box and can apply it wonderfully there. Now let's do the test here on the roof surface. You can already see that the majority is really quite dull. No sealant applied. Water film tears incredibly poorly. And now during these months, just go for a wet sealant here. Pay attention to the manufacturer's instructions here. Some need to be rinsed off immediately, while others should stay on for 30 seconds or 50 seconds. So just do it part by part, depending on that. And with ADBL, you can actually leave it on a bit longer, but I will spray it off right after. As you can see, the water film breaks immediately. The tension is somewhat removed from the water on the surface, and then you can rinse it off here with the high pressure cleaner. And now, if you remember the picture from before, there was a huge water surface, a puddle on it, and now it is really quickly pulling together up here on the roof. So this is really super easy to do here, especially with the amount of wind I just had. On the other side, not much good product has come through. So here, just treat it a bit more on the other side. You can do the same if you see that it hasn't hit 100% in some spots. Just go over it again. It's best to do this when there isn't too much wind. For me, there was really way too much storm going on. Yes, and you can see here that when you rinse it off, in 2001 it goes super easy, simply, and you can actually seal your car that quickly, and it's very easy to do. Now I'm curious about your opinion. What do you think about the best sealant for autumn? Of course, there will be many more videos on this topic, but here's just a small appeal and thought-provoking idea regarding wet sealing. And I must also be clear that there are still 1 or 2 manufacturers that do not have any wet sealant at all. And with some other manufacturers, I have to say that they could still improve their performance a bit. That's why I'm linking my top 3, or let's say top 4, wet sealant products in the video description below. And you've seen how easy it is. With a durability of about 3 to 4 weeks on the vehicle's surface, depending on how much driving is done and how the weather turns out, as well as how dirty the roads are, it can be easily and quickly renewed. And so you might bridge the time until you want to apply a stronger sealant again, or you can just work with it throughout the entire autumn months. You can do it that way as well. And I am curious about your opinion on the topic of wet sealing during the autumn months. Or do you already apply your long-term sealant for winter during these autumn months? Feel free to write it down for me below. I'm really curious. There will be more on the topic of autumn, rain, dreary weather, and vehicle care. Have fun. See you next time. So, Sebastian. Bye, guys.